What games did you play when you were young?
What games did I play? We played a game called hopscotch, but that's called, do you know the one with the stones? What's it called now?
I think you still call it hopscotch.
Do you still call it hopscotch? We played that. And we played another game called colours. And there'd be two, one would be the devil and the other would be the angel. And a few of us would be in that, and then whoever got the lead in it, you see, they say, angel, angel, come today, what do you want? And the angel would say some colours, and then we would say what colour. And if she said, we see, you'd have purple and you'd have red and you might be green and so on, you know. So if she didn't pick the right colour, then you see, they all run around her and they would chase her, you see. And the devil would try and come in then and win her place. And if he didn't get in, the angel would still be there and she could ask the same questions again. And it went on that way until the colours were eliminated, finished with.
Yeah.
Do you know, that was one of the ones we did. And we had paper chases as well, where you cut up all the paper smaller. And we used to go down around the rocks, over across the way now behind that garage. That was all of green across there. And we used to go down the back of the houses down there, and the rocks were called down there. There was no houses on it then. And we used to go down and have great crack down there, hunting on the rocks, going around the place.
Were there special games for certain times of the year?
We played conkers. We used to go down to the wood as well for nuts and bluebells in the springtime, and the primroses. And we bring them home then, because usually the bluebells and that would be out before May, and we used to have the May processions going up to Our Lady statue in the convent garden, and we'd be all lined up and singing the May hymns and all, and have the bluebells, all of us carrying little bunches of bluebells going up along. We were very good girls.
Did boys play different games than girls?
Well, they played hurling and football, those kind of things, you know. And outside of that, I don't know what other games the boys played. I suppose they went hunting and that. Actually, at one time when I was young, men go around what they call snaring rabbits. You could get a snare and it was on a stick like that, came around that way and stick this in the ground, you see, and catch the rabbit.
Great fun.
What it's supposed to do, it was an awful thing to do. But I did it myself too. But the men used to go and catch the rabbits, you see, and somebody would come then to the town, maybe once a week, with a lorry. And you see, a lot of people were poor, and they'd go for this snaring the rabbits and that, and they'd collect them then and have them hanging in a shed at home. And this other guy would come then, maybe once a week, and he'd give them a few bob for the rabbits, you know. Until they'd go out again the following week, you see, and get some more.
And what would he do with them?
Oh, they'd skin them, you see, and sell them to the butcher shops. Yeah.
Where did you live?
I lived next door, in the house next door. We owned the house next door. And we had another house over in the back green as well. And this house had belonged to my grandfather. It's about 200 years old. Do you see?
Yes.
So I was away in Dublin for a long time. I was nursing. And I was in Dublin for 18 years. I was in Donegal for 4. And I used to think, see, I did lines with fellas and all, I went out with the boys too. But I didn't want to get married, you see. I had no chances of getting married. I didn't want to get married, you see. I wanted to be single and fly my own canoe, my own kite.
Very sensible woman.
Very sensible.
Very sensible.
You see. So anyway, my mother died, she's dead now 27 years. But I always had this in my mind, that I would love to retire and live here. But there's 8 others in our family, there's 9 of us all together. And I didn't want to be one of these people that I'd like it, and I had to think of the others as well as me, you see, because you can't be selfish in life. So anyway, the long and short of it was, when Mammy died, she left this house to me, so this is my house. This is Kathleen's cottage.
It's lovely.
So now, so then I went to school in Fethard, and I never liked school. And I was always wanting to be going away from the books. So anyway, I love the books now.
Yeah.
Since I got older, I love the books and I love reading and everything like that. And I've studied a lot of different things since then. But you see, when you're young, you say, "I'll no, this, that, and the other." And the thing about this school time is learning time, and it's the chance to get in the knowledge because you have plenty of time to play when that's over.
That's true.
And that is most important. So I realised that when I left school.
Yeah.
Were there many other families around you?
Families everywhere. Children everywhere. We're always playing out and all the rest of it. And we used to have spinning tops as well. We used to have these little tops. I have one outside in the kitchen somewhere. And we used to colour the top of them with chalk. And we had a stick then, you see, with a bit of twine on it. And there wasn't that many cars on the road then. We used to spin the top and hitch it on. And sometimes then if we had treats like chocolate sweets wrapped up in silver paper, we'd be making little hats on the top, you see, with the silver paper. And when we were spinning them then, they would want to swap yours and for hers, and paper might be nicer on yours or on hers or whatever. We used to go to fun at it, you know. This is the front green, and there was a place called the back green, down exactly outside at the back here, going down along Tour Centre. Yeah, it's called the back green. And you see, the thing about it is, in those years, everybody knew everybody, in the sense of not being curious or living in their ear or anything like that. But if we went down Barry Street when we were children now, like that, if somebody spotted you, "Come here, what are you doing down here? Go back home, you shouldn't be down here at all." Straight away. No, we stayed in our own environment. Yeah. People were very caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People leave your area to emigrate to
They did.
America or other
In England,
places.
they did. Yeah. Because the jobs weren't here. Like it is now, only it is worse now than what it was then. But like in those years, people, you must know, people hadn't cars or anything like that. You know, there's very few people had cars. And the people then would maybe get odd jobs working on buildings and things like that. My father knew a lot of us. He had about, at one stage, 15 or 16, he was a building contractor, my father. And he had people working for him, you know. But those people and the wages they got in those times and all, some of our ledger books that we have still. And when you see it, you know what they worked. And they worked. Do you know what I mean? They were very staunch people. Oh Lord, they were the best, yeah.
Where does the name The Green come from?
All that place over there was a green, in the sense of green grass. It was like, you wouldn't call it a park, but it was open land, like a big field. And that's how this place was called The Green. Yeah.
Do you remember the fair days in Fethard?
I do, Pet. I remember them very well. And down along the main street there were all these timber railings. You know, like you see, like a bit of back of a tree, those kind of railings. And outside the shop, they used to have all these down along there. And the cattle then would be on the street. And one summer holidays we were down there, another girl who was now dead, and my sister and myself. And we told this farmer we would mind his cattle for him if he gave us sixpence. And we minded his cattle when he was off having a drink.
Did you get the sixpence?
With great effort. I tell you that. We wouldn't let him off. And another time then the fair was still on. And at that stage then I was in Dublin, I was doing my training for nursing. And I came home on holidays and I had this beautiful tweed suit on me. It was buttoned up the side and a scarf across all in one piece. And I was all changing now with the high heels and the lot. And I was walking, the train was going in Fethard at that time. And I was walking up to the station. And of course I was cocked to walk with the handbag and all the style, you know, after coming home from Dublin. My holidays, I got a few, you know. And the next thing was my foot slipped and I fell into Cowdown. Well, listen, talk about being deflated.
How many meals a day did people have?
Well, generally speaking, at the time I wasn't interested in what people had. We were, I was getting myself.
What used to you get? Was it
Porridge in the morning, yeah, and fruit, maybe or honey on it, you know, mostly. And brown bread. Plenty of brown bread and tea, marmalade. And for dinner then we could have chops, chicken, stew, bacon, any of those things.
So there's plenty of meat. Meat was
Oh
scarce.
yes, oh yeah. Mammy was a great cook.
Mm.
Oh, she had this iron saucepan with the long handle out, when about that height. She used a steak in that.
Mm.
You'd eat your finger, you knew what film of coke soaked his finger. Beautiful. Onions. Gorgeous and gorgeous gravy.
Mm.
She was a great cook. She used to do gingerbread and apple tarts and apple sponges. And all. She used to do them in the roasting tin. There's so
Would she
many of us
bake all
there.
your bread or would you buy the bread?
Oh God knows she bake it.
Brown
Yeah.
bread, maybe.
Oh yeah, mostly brown bread. You know, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked in Killybegs then for 4 years. I remember once one of the fishermen, there was a father, Barry, used to go up there on holidays. He was home in Minnesota. And he used to go to Killybegs on holidays, you know, for a month or more in the summer. Big, big man. So I was coming home on holidays for my month's holidays anyway, and Junior McGuinness was a man, but he was called Junior. And he called his fishing boat after me, the St. Catherine. And I had to go on the boat and all when he was bringing it out in the bay the first time. It was such a furore really getting on the boat.
Yeah.
But coming home, they gave me a box of fish that size I had from turbot down in it. Oh, we want to see it. And getting the lift home, Father Barry, you see, I was able to bring the fish.
Mm.
So I came in home anyway with my fish anyway. Mammy gave the whole lot away, bar two.
Really?
They give it all around to the people.
Mm.
Sure, I didn't care. You know,
Yeah.
share it, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be very much like that even today.
Yeah.
Share what you have.
Do you remember any old stories or characters talked about around the fire at night?
Actually, we didn't. We were people who played cards more than talked about things around the fire.
Mm.
We were a card house.
Mm.
We played cards a lot. I was playing poker last night actually at 12. Yeah.
And the neighbours that come in years ago would then play cards. They
They
were
were a different group, like the Father Turnabout in the Abbey now and Mon, and people like the St. Johns out in the Clussy Road, the Grady's.
Mm.
They were the ones that always, they weren't the ones around like played cards.
Do you remember any stories about Cromwell?
I do. Cromwell was supposed when he was coming into Fethard. There was supposed to be somebody up around Market Hill area and told the soldiers that the people had churns up and all that, and told the soldiers that they weren't guns at all, that they were only churns, meat churns.
Mm.
And Cromwell came into town anyway, and he passed through Barracks. He passed through Barracks Street, with the result that to this day no funeral ever goes through Barracks Street. That's definite.
Mm.
And he was supposed to have stabled his horses below in the sanctuary in the Abbey.
Mm.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no funeral will ever go unless it's a stranger.
Mm.
They'll never go through Barracks Street. Yeah.
And Kathleen, would you know anything much about ruins around the place, like Kelly Castle, or is there any particular castle that you know stories of or have any interest
No,
in?
really.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Heffernan lived up in Knockkelly Castle. You see, when we were children, we were very inventive.
Mm.
We used to have our own circuses, you know, across the green there. We used to put up tents. And Newport used to sell grapes, and they'd have these timber barrels.
Mm.
And we'd get the sawdust below in my father's workshop, and we'd put in prizes into the sawdust. And you'd have to charge a halfpenny.
Mm.
That was big money then, you know. And we'd have the different ones acting their part and all on stage
Mm.
in the circus.
Mm.
Over there, I'm sure it's just crackers,
Yeah.
you know.
And anything else now particularly that you remember that was different years back or that you'd like to tell us? Joe, about the life in those days? Or?
The life in those days, and about going to the chapel and confession, the May procession, of course,
Mm.
as you know.
Yes.
And we had Corpus Christi procession then, when the Blessed Sacrament was carried from the parish down and out through the town. And you used to have an altar there. The old military barracks was in the square where the guards, two houses are now, you know that yourself. And there was the entrance to the old military barracks was there. They used to call it the armchair. There was only that bit left in the old guys used to go down there and sit down and have their pipe or whatever and chat away, do you know. And I remember that they used to have an altar set up there as well. But there wouldn't be much more that I could remember. You see, when you're growing up, like, your mind is so occupied with what you're doing, you're not fully aware of what's happening around you. Because you're so preoccupied with yourself and what you have to do. Do you know?
Yeah. Did you ever go down the main street, or you stick to your own areas, did you?
No, we wouldn't be allowed to go down the main street.
Or did you pass down to
No
school?
way.
You wouldn't be allowed by whom not?
Not at all. Like, my mother would say to us, you're not going down there. Sure, whatever way they spoke to us, like, you listened. And you didn't question it. Do you know? I remember when I came home from my first holiday from Dublin, I had never worn lipstick. And now I never go without it. And I came home on my holiday and I was after buying a tube of lipstick in Woolworths in Henry Street in Dublin. It was 1 and 6 pence. And we were going to a dance in Tramore, or to no, it wasn't in Tramore, it was the Collins Hall in Clonmel. So Brother Stephen was outside the house, my father and mother were there. And I went into the bedroom anyway, and I was dolled up. Lovely, I thought. And lipstick. And I came out of the bedroom anyway, I was going off to the dance. And my father says to me, what's that you're on now? And I said, lipstick. I hadn't much on now. Go back in, he said, and take it off. And Brother Stephen said, oh Larry, he said, leave her alone, sure they're all wearing it now. Whatever they do in Rome can be done, he said, but she's not doing it here. So I had to go back into my room, take off the lipstick, which I duly put into my pocket. Got outside the door, was going down now, and it splashed on my face.
What age were you at that stage?
I was home on my first holiday from nursing.
17 or 18.
19.
Imagine.
18 or 19.
Gas, isn't it?
You did what you were told and you never questioned it together. And that's the one thing, and I say to this day now, and I'm crippled now with osteoarthritis. Crippled with it. And I have my little walking chair, I call it, I call it Matilda. Waltzing Matilda. Yeah, and I went into Clonmel yesterday with Philly. I went into George Hackett's because I'm getting a new carpet for years coming out tomorrow. And my God, I only had the walking stick with me and I was in bits when I came home. Oh my God, did I pain. Every bit of it. But I went off pain poker last night.
Good.
Then after that,
It's the right
Right,
attitude.
keep going.
Well, you have to.
And I'm telling this now to the girls and little Toby over there. No matter what meets you in life, keep going.